Hello, let's place dominoes. It's time for pips, and as has been the case recently, we've got an easy puzzle by Ian Livingood, medium and hard by Rodolfo Kirchen. Let's start with the easy. Let's start solving. Okay, so we need to put a 6 here. Well, it must go this way because otherwise we don't have a double domino for these equivalence region there. So 6, 2, do we have a 3, 2? We do not. So the other 2 points elsewhere. I think it'll probably point over here. We'll put a 5 in the 6, and then 3 goes in the 3, and that's it. That's the easy puzzle. Let's try the medium. Right, okay. So we will need a double something in this 3-sized equivalence region down here. It could be 2s, could be 0s, but it will be one of those 2 things. We need less than 5 that connects to something of which we have 3. That could also be 0. Actually, could it be 0? It could be 0 if it connected to more zeros, which would be interesting. Or no, I was going to say we have 3 2s, but not arranged in a way that would work with that. Just trying to think if I can put 0 in the less than 5. And I think we might not be able to unless it's zeros, which is sort of interesting. Could it be this? We then need a 0 that connects to something of which we have 2, which could be this. Then the 2 would have to go here because it's our only double. Then this would have to go here. This isn't going to work, though, because this will be more than 8. Yeah. Does that mean we can't have a 0 in less than 5? I mean, I didn't think it was ever going to work, which is the reason I'm trying it. It's good to rule out the things that can't work. But I just want to make sure I'm not making a bad assumption there. No, this couldn't be a 2 because then we'd have no more doubles to put in the equivalence region. Yeah, I think the less than 5 thing can't be a 0. That's not a huge win, but I think it's true. If it were 2, there's got to be a better way to solve this. Sorry, this feels like a waste. So 6, 4 can't go there. 0, 0 can't go there because we can't make an 8. 0, 4 can't go there. No, it could because we do have a 4 actually that could go here. We would have to go this way. Then we need it. No, that doesn't work. That breaks the geometry. That doesn't work because then we wouldn't be able to put anything in the less than 5. Okay, so nothing on the bottom row works in that 8. What about this? If we put 0, 2 here, we'd need a 6 up top. And it's always going to point up, which means it would have to be the 6, 0, because we don't have enough of anything else to be a 3. Now we'd need less than 5 connecting to 0. I think we already determined it can't be 0, 0, so it would have to be 4, 0. Then, no, this doesn't work, because we point down to that doesn't work either. Okay, so this can't be 0, 2. Could it be 0, 6? Then we'd need a 2 here. This feels like a very bad way to solve this. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. 2 going up there is the only way that the 2 could work. And then we'd need another 0 coming down, which would have to be this 4. This is just going to not work for exactly the same reason. This is exactly the same as what we had before. We've just swapped a couple positions, that's all. Yeah, this doesn't work. Right, what about this double 2? We'd then need a 4 here, which would, again, have to be the 0. Then this would have to be the 2, 0 here. Then we could put... No, this isn't going to work because we don't have 3 of anything now. Yeah, we can never use both 2s and both 0s because then we don't have anything to make the 3 region down there. So does that mean it has to be the 0, 5? Is it literally the last possible choice? Did I try every possibility other than this? No, this doesn't work either. Okay, so I missed a possibility. I missed something that does work. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, what are the things it technically can be just to complete the 8? Sorry, I don't know why I feel like I'm getting worse at this game. If it's 0, 5, we need a 3, which we don't have. If it's double 2, we need a 4, which we do have. It can't be 4, 6 up there because we don't have enough 6s. Nothing can ever go this way because then we break the geometry up top. So it would have to be 4, 0. Yeah, but we can't do this because now we don't have any more double things to put in that 3-sized equivalence region down there. So that's just not possible. So that's ruled out. Sorry, I'm doing this again because I obviously made a mistake before. So 6, 2. So now we need a 2 here. It can't be double 2 because then we don't have 2 more 2s to put in there. So it would have to be the 2, 0. Which means we need to put 2 more zeros in there, which means the equivalence region down here would need to be 2s. I don't know if it goes this way or this way, but whatever, it's 2s. Then, no, we don't have enough 2s for that. No, that doesn't work either. That'll never work because we don't have a third 2. And we couldn't put zeros down here because then we don't have enough zeros to make the top bit as well. Right, so this is also not possible. And I think 0, 2 is the same problem, but let's just try it again. So can't be 6, 4 pointing up. It would have to be 6, 0 pointing up. Now, once again, it has to be 2s down. No, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. We always need, sorry, why did I not think about this immediately? We always need, do we always need 2s and 0s for our 2 3-sized equivalence regions? Yes, of course we do. Of course we do. Why did I not think about that? So we can never use 2s in the 8 region. We could use zeros because we have extra zeros. Is there any way to make the bottom without 2s? Could we make the bottom and the top with all zeros? Maybe we could. Maybe that's the way to do this. Although, the 8 couldn't have any zeros in it then. So it would have to be something like 2, 2, 4. Maybe that is how we do this. Oh, I bet it is. Sorry. Yeah, okay, I was an idiot before. That worked. That worked. I just didn't think of that possibility. That was stupid. Yeah, I should have considered that we had enough zeros to make both 3-sized equivalence regions out of zeros. I didn't do it. No, that was how to do it. Okay. Let's try the hard one. Please don't be too much harder than that because I seem to be degrading. Okay, so we have a W. Not that that means anything for the solve, but it's interesting. And we have a 17 region of size 3, which will be 2 6s and a 5. It's the only way to do that. But we have 3 6s and 2 5s, so we've got options there. We also have 2 4-sized equivalence regions. That's interesting. 2 of those. So we've got 4 1s. We've got 4 3s. Each of those has a double as well. We've got 4 zeros, and that has a double. So we've got lots of options there. The greater than 3 will point up into the 17, obviously. And this little peninsula will point down into the 17. So then the third cell of the 17 will point into the greater than 3 or the equivalent. I don't know if that necessarily means anything very useful just yet. Greater than 9 can't have anything smaller than a 4. Only 4s, 5s, and 6s. That's kind of interesting to think about. Because the 17 is only 5s and 6s. This is only 4, 5s, and 6s. Greater than 3 is 4, 5s, and 6s. This greater than 3 is 4, 5s, and 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need at least 7 greater than 4, 5s, or not greater. We need at least 7 4, 5s, and 6s just for these enumerated regions. Let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's it. These are all of the 4, 5s, and 6s in the puzzle. We can't afford to use anywhere else. That's incredibly useful, I think. So anytime we have a domino that has both, that is both halves are 4, 5s, and 6s, they have to be bridging these things. They can't go into a void cell. They can't go into the four-sized equivalence regions. They have to be connecting these things. So, this is probably something like that. Or, it doesn't need to be, I don't know, but I just mean could be. That's really interesting. And when we have something like a 5, 0 or a 5, anything 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, or 3, that must be poking out somewhere. Right. Yeah, really interesting. Actually, this greater than 3, it might need to be this now that I'm looking at it. Because we need, well, it's got to be either a 4, 5, a 4, 6, a 5, 5, a 5, 6, or a 6, 6. And we actually don't have very many such things. That might be the only thing that fits here. Is it? Yeah, I think it is. I think that is actually necessary. Okay. So, so now we need a 4 that connects to a 5 or a 6. Sorry, we need a 4, 5, or 6 that connects to a 5 or a 6. But we don't have that, actually. So that means each of these two will point up into the four-sized equivalence region. So this one's a 5 or a 6, and it connects to something of which we have 4. So it could be 3s or 0s. How many 3s do we have? Because this is a greater than 2. Okay, yeah, actually, here, this is important. The greater than 2 must be 3, 4, 5, or 6, but it's not 4, 5, or 6 because we've already determined we're using all of those. So it actually, that greater than 2 is a 3 only. It is strictly a 3. And that is important because that decreases the number of available 3s we have from 4 to 3. So in fact, neither of the four-sized equivalence regions is made up of 3s. That 3s are out for that purpose. That's very useful. So this greater than 3, that's a 4, 5, or 6, and it connects to a 0 or a 1. So it could be 6, 1, or it could be 5, 0. And I think that's it. The 17 needs another 6 and another 5. So if this were 0, we couldn't be a 5. Oh, right, interesting. So yes, these two will obviously have to, well, oh no, sorry. Greater than 3 could be a 4, could be a 4, 0, could be a 4, 0. But then we would need another, then we'd need, for instance, this 5, 0 here. It's probably that. So it's either that or, yeah, I think it actually has to be that because the only other option is 1s, and we don't have 2 things that could connect to 1 that fulfill those criteria. So yeah, I think this is actually correct. And then that means we need a 6 coming out of the 17, which could be 6, 1 or 6, 3. We'll come back to that. And then greater than 9. Right, we've already used our 4s. So these are going to be only 5s and 6s in here. And, right, we need 2 of something, which could still be 2s. We do have enough 2s. Actually, greater than 2 is going to be a 3. Sorry, I meant 3s. I meant 3s, not 2s. Sorry. Anyway, this greater than 2 is a 3. We don't have a 3, 0. So that means the double 0 has to go here. And then greater than 2, yeah, we have lots of 3s currently, so we'll come back to that. Sorry, this is taking me a while, but I'm happy with how I'm solving it. Happier than I am with the previous puzzle, which was a total mess. On my part, I mean. Right, so this will be 1s. We'll have 1s in this equivalence region. Do we have, and we don't have any 1s that can connect to the greater than 9, because the greater than 9 only has 4s or higher. We don't have any 1s that connect to that. So that means that points across, which means we'll need a double 1, which could go here or here. It actually doesn't make any difference because either way, we're going to have to connect two things across. So ones then need to connect to something. No, that doesn't work. Okay, I have made a mistake. I have made a mistake. Oh, that's a oh, wait, no. No. We have a 1, 6. Sorry, we can save it. Yeah, and the way we can save it, sorry, I don't know why I didn't catch that for some reason. So yeah, I see how that's going to work, but also we can put our 6, 3 here because now we only have one remaining 6. And I guess this is a 5 because that's the only thing that fits there. And then we have double 3 here, double 1 here, 1, 0 here, 3 here, and that's it. And I'm very happy with that solve. I'm very happy with observing that relationship. I feel that slightly redeems me for my inept performance in the medium puzzle today, and my terrible performance on some recent hards. Probably took me maybe longer than it could have, but I think the principle was correct and elegant. And there we go. That was another day of pips, and I will be back tomorrow with yet more domino puzzles. All right, join me then back tomorrow. Bye for now.